Hello students, in this video we will discuss wind, storms and cyclone part 2. So first we will discuss about thunderstorms. Thunderstorms develop in hot, humid tropical areas like India. The rising temperature produce strong upward rising winds. As you can see here, this is the first stage of a thunderstorm. Here what happens? The temperature, due to high temperature, the winds become hot, and as you know, warm air rises up, so this also rises up, and this winds carry, this will rise up and will go to the upper layers of the atmosphere where they will freeze and fall down as rain. So the first stage is the cumulus stage. In the second stage, what happens? The swift movement of the falling water droplets along with rising air creates lightning and sound. So second stage, which is called the mature stage, here what is happening is that the condensed air is falling down, the condensed water vapor is falling down as rain, and the warm air is rising. So due to this movement of the warm air which is rising up and the raindrops which are falling, this creates lightning and also the sound which we call as the thunder. And after this is the last stage of thunderstorm, where the remaining clouds will fall as rain. So these are the three stages in which the thunderstorm occurs. The first is the cumulus stage, where the warm air is rising up. It carries a lot of water vapor. This water vapor goes up into the upper atmosphere and it will cool down, condense and form rain. Second stage, the mature stage, here the rain is falling and the warm wind is rising up, and this creates lightning and thunder. And the third stage, as you can see, the clouds are now falling down. Here the light rain, as you can see, is happening. So what are the precautions that we have to take during thunderstorm? First of all, do not take shelter under an isolated tree. If you are in a forest, take shelter under a small tree. So we should always remember that during thunderstorm, we should always take shelter on a low-lying structure, not on the tallest structure in the area. So for example, if there is nothing around and there is only some trees, so you should take shelter only under the smallest tree, not the largest tree. Tallest tree. So what happens is that when you stand under a tall building or tall tree, that is more closer to the cloud, so that is more that can catch the lightning. There is the probability that they will catch the lightning more. So you should always stand on a very lower structure, not the tallest structure in the area. Do not lie on the ground. Do not take shelter under an umbrella with a metallic end. As you know, metals are conductors, so you should never use an umbrella or never take shelter under an umbrella which has a metallic stand. A car and a bus are safe places. So if you are inside a car or a bus, you should remain inside, you should not come out. And if you are in water, you should immediately get out of water and go inside a building. So these are some of the precautions that you have to take during thunderstorm. Okay, so let us see some other. So first of all, you can see here, avoid tall objects, as we have already discussed. The tall objects are near to the clouds, and so there is more chances of the lightning falling on tall objects. So you should always avoid tall objects. Second is seek shelter in a low-lying area. Third, avoid water, any body of water. And fourth, avoid drowned power lines. Now there can be, the power lines may have fallen due to winds, high speed winds, so you should never go near the power lines. So if you are inside, what are the precautions that you should take? First of all, avoid corded electricity. So you can see all the electric appliances which are connected to a socket, that you should avoid. Secondly, you should pull the plug. As you can see here, you should pull the plug. Third is that avoid concrete, and fourth is stay away from plumbing. So anything to do with water should be avoided during thunderstorm. Now if you are in an open field and there is no other structures, no building around, so how can you survive a lightning strike? So this is the basic position that you should be in while a lightning strikes. So what you have to do, you have to sit in this position. As you can see here, your head should be down, and between your hands, you can see your hands, the hands are covering the ear, because that can lead to the thunder. The sound of the thunder can lead to the damage to your hearing. So you should cover your ears with the hands, and your head should be like this, in this position, and your feet. So look at the position of the feet. So you should only, your feet, only the front portion of your feet should touch the ground. The back portion should not be touching the ground, and the back part of the feet are touching each other. So why this position? So that the minimum area of your body is touching the ground, so that if the lightning strikes the ground and it enters your body, then it will enter through one of the feet, and then it will move to the other feet and go out of that body. So it will not go through your entire body, it will just go from one feet to another and will move out of the body. So this is the position that you have to take. If you find yourself in a open space and there is lightning around, so you have to be you can use this position to protect yourself. Okay, next is cyclone. Cyclone refers to the winds moving in circle, wheeling around their central clear eye with the winds blowing around it. So this is a cyclone. You can see this is the eye of the cyclone, and around this there is this clouds. You can see white colored clouds and wind moving at very high speed around the cyclone. Tropical cyclones typically form over large bodies of relatively warm water. They derive their energy through the evaporation of water from ocean surfaces. So cyclones in tropical region always forms over water bodies, like huge water bodies like oceans or seas, because from there they get the energy from the evaporation of water, which ultimately condenses into clouds and rains when moist air rises and cools down. So that is how the clouds are formed. So this water evaporates, and this, when it rises up, it forms clouds, and then it condenses and forms rain. So how a thunderstorm becomes a cyclone? Now, before cloud formation, water takes up heat from the atmosphere to change into vapor. When this water vapor will change back to liquid form as raindrops, this heat will be released. Now, this heat warms the air around. The air tends to rise and cause a drop in pressure. More air rushes to the center of the storm. This cycle is repeated. The chain of events ends with the formation of very low pressure system with very high speed winds revolving around it. And this weather condition is called as cyclone. So if you see here, this is the water. This is getting heated up, and this is forming water vapors, and these water vapors are rising up and forming clouds. So when they form clouds, they release the heat, due to which the air becomes warm. As you know, when the air becomes warm, they create a low pressure area. So there is this low pressure area which is surrounded by very high speed winds, and that is a cyclone. So let us see the structure of the cyclone. So the center of the cyclone is the calm area. It is called the eye of the storm. So if you see here, this central area is a clear area. There is no clouds, and also there is not much high velocity wind. Very light wind is flowing in this. So the diameter of the eye varies from 10 to 30 kilometer, and this region is free of clouds and has light winds. Now if you look around the eye, this area has thick clouds and also very high speed winds. So about 150 kilometer in size this area can be, and this has thick clouds, high speed winds and heavy rain. Away from the region, that is this region which you see here, then the clouds are also less, and the velocity and the speed of the wind also decreases. So this is the structure of a cyclone. Now, what are the effects of cyclone? Tropical cyclones trigger rainfall and landslides. They cause serious damage to towns and villages. They trigger a lot of crop damage and destroy plenty of trees and forests. They damage electricity and telephone lines. Torrential rains often accompany cyclones, and this causes flooding, and they cause tremendous loss of life, not only of humans but also of animals, and also loss of property. So what are the precautions that we should take during a cyclone? So this is a information that was released by Government of West Bengal during the cyclone Amphan, and you can look into what are the things that we should do before the cyclone and during the cyclone. So let us go first to the before the cyclones. So first is ignore rumors, stay calm, do not panic. Second is keep your mobile phone charged, because after the cyclone the electricity lines can be damaged, and you will need your mobile phone to contact the authorities. Keep track of weather updates on TV, radio and newspaper. Keep your documents and valuables in waterproof packets. Prepare emergency kit. So what are the things that should be in the emergency kit? There should be food, mostly dry food, medicines, water and clothes. Secure your house. Don't leave sharp objects loose, because you could be injured through the sharp objects. Untie the cattles, okay, so that they can run for their safety. Fishermen should not venture out of the sea, because the sea will be very turbulent, and also they should keep their boats in safe place, so that the boats are not destroyed. Okay, during and after the cyclone, in indoor situation, switch off the electrical mains and gas supply. Keep doors and windows shut. Do not stay in kacha houses, okay, the thatched or kacha houses, because they will be easily broken by the winds, high speed winds. So any safe pakka house would be better than a kacha house or a damaged pakka house. Keep track of weather updates on TV, radio and newspaper. If outdoor, then do not enter damaged buildings. Watch out for broken electrical poles, wires and other sharp objects, and seek safe pakka shelter as soon as possible. So there is also, you can see, a helpline is given, so that people can contact during and after the cyclone. Okay, so there are many advanced technologies that are used for predicting cyclones. Before that, you should know that the cyclone has different names in different parts of the world. It is called a hurricane in American continent, and a typhoon in case of Philippines and Japan. Okay, now satellites and radars, these are the advanced technology which help us to predict cyclone well in advance, maybe 1 week before or 2 weeks before we know that a cyclone is coming. A cyclone alert or cyclone watch is issued 48 hours in advance, and a cyclone warning is issued 24 hours. So the warning or the watch is issued 48 hours before, and warning is issued 24 hours before. And after the warning is issued, this message is broadcasted every hour or half an hour, so that all the people near the coast would know about this. Several national and international organizations cooperate to monitor the cyclone-related disasters. Now we come to tornadoes. Now tornadoes are also formed from thunderstorm, but they are different from cyclones. So a tornado is basically a funnel shaped cloud. As you can see here, this is a funnel shaped cloud, and it stretches from the storm. This is the thunderstorm, and this cloud stretches from the thunderstorm up till the ground, you can see. So to be a tornado, it must touch the ground. So if the cloud does not touch the ground, it is not called a tornado. It will be called a tornado only when it touches the ground. A violent tornado can travel at a speed of about 300 km per hour. Now let us see some precautions which should be taken in case of tornadoes. So a tornado shelter is a room situated deep inside or underground, having no windows. So in places where there is frequent tornadoes, they have a underground shelters which do not have any window, and they go to that shelter during a tornado. Or otherwise, it is better to shut windows and take shelter under a table, workbench where debris cannot reach, because in a tornado every things can be sucked in and can be thrown at a very high speed, and that can lead to a lot of injury. One has to bow down on knees, protecting head and neck using arms. So as you can see here, this is a tornado drill that is going on in a school. So this is the position in which you have to bow down, and you have to protect your head and neck using your arms, so that even if any debris flow and can injure your head, and your neck will be protected from injury.